So it is, in many ways, I'm not sure that the deficit is about questions as much as it exists about convincing definitive answers. So for example, the very questions that moved me, it's becoming longer and longer ago now as I look backwards, are the same questions that animate the first year PhD student in economics or in public policy. The questions haven't changed. Why are countries poor? Why are there pockets of poverty? Why is there inequality, etc.? Who determines the dispersal of the public resources? What has changed is that over time our answers to a growing share of those questions has become ever sharper for two reasons. One is the advent of relatively sophisticated techniques empirically. And so that many of the questions I just listed interested people like Mill and Ricardo and Malthus and Marshall, but it was hard to answer them given the techniques then available. Now we know about experimental methods. We have developed structural modeling that allows us to link the causal relationship between variables, understand the behavior of systems much better than was historically the case. The second change has been the advent of large data sets. And so it would have been impossible to think or measure convincingly the nature of intergenerational earnings linkages, those data not having been present, those were not being present in the old days. Today, one can imagine a second-year graduate student getting traction on that question. More broadly, people have studied questions like tax policy and the effect on behavior. And they've only been able to do that because massive data sets involving tens of millions of people have over the last several years become available. When the growth of that data availability is combined with the rise in processing power and computing skill, we can answer questions better. Now, one thing about answering questions convincingly is that whereas in the old days we could say, well, I don't know for sure, so let me just ask another question. Now we know something for sure, a small but growing set of things, and that knowledge itself spawns new questions. And so I'm not ducking the question, but I'm instead saying that for me, it is on the empirical side that economics is making the most inroads, A, and that B, most of the most important inroads and insights will involve empirical methods attached to old questions. Questions about moral hazard or adverse selection or equilibrium, yes? That are questions that have bedeviled economists for 150 years. We're going to be able to answer them now. That's how I would think about it.